Hi, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Hi, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Home palo. Home palo. Moila. Temet. Quiero pahala. Woo! Quiero pahala. Woo! Quiero pahala. Woo!
Good morning. This is Juana Majo Dixon. I'm a tribal woman from Palma. I have some music playing in the background of the women singing about leaning on me and believing on me. We are a people. We were there for each other during this MMIW time that we're going to talk about. So I'm asking each of you to go in a good way. Think about how you're there for one another, even in thought, even in prayer, even in blessings. Know that you're not alone, that we're with you in this new technology world of placelessness. We care about what's going on. And the tribes here celebrate our lives with you. And thank you for this moment. Go with a good heart and an open mind. Sing your sisters home, those who are missing and are murdered. This is a good thing. Thank you.
Greetings and humble salutations, North County, San Diego, and welcome to the 5th annual North County, San Diego Women's March. I am your host, Venus Johnson, and I'm so honored and thrilled to be a part of this live event. We have so much in store for you all today with a myriad of guest speakers and topics and
Welcome
artists
to the
ranging
5th
from
North County San
environmental justice to social equity, and so much more. Thank you to all of our sponsors who made this event possible. And remember, this is a safe space. Please be kind in the comments. Please be kind to all of our guest speakers. And let's make this a great show.
Welcome to the 5th North County San Diego Women's March. From the very beginning, it was important for us to organize an event in North County Women's March, led by the people of North County. North County has its own issues, so we should have our own march. It was important to bring the voices of North County forward, presented by the women, the activists, the children, the men, everyone in North County. We wanted the people doing the grassroots organizing in North County to have a platform of our own.
So the intent was for the voices of North County to be heard, because our voices are never heard in North County. And I don't think we've ever deviated from that. And our ability as an organization, because of who we are and how it starts, and it's like to grow and to move to Women X, right? To move to, I mean, we've always looked at being inclusive and what does inclusivity look like, and whatever are anyone's personal struggles with, anyone who identifies as a woman or is a woman, regardless of whether they have all the women parts or not. I mean, we have fiercely supported that.
Immigrants' rights activists, political activists, LGBT activists, all fuel the efforts to make the march a reality. The overwhelming attendance of the march was something no one predicted. At one point, I remember standing at the stage at the San Marcos Civic Center, and there was a sea of people. Old, young, men, women, children, toddlers, everyone came.
Or the issue when the concern about the people at the national level and the anti-Semitic comments. Our intention, and I can remember having many conversations with Taz and whoever else would want to talk. Our intention was, we're not going to affiliate with, we are a sister march, but we're our own.
The movements, the people, and most importantly, that community that we create,
Right. It created.
is a satisfaction.
The very first and second march we organized, I mean, Taz, how many people were sitting at the table? 20, 30 people, right?
Initially, yeah.
The original intent of the march was to develop community and to provide space for our community activists, our community organizations, and to provide space for their voices to be heard, whatever that looks like. And to move towards the most inclusive space we can. For me, the core is that we were able to maintain the original vision regarding the space for this to be for community members, a way to build community, and for the voices of our community members to be heard.
To me, the Women's March did not start on January with the 21st, 2017. For me, the Women's March starts from when I am born, because my struggles as a woman start from the day I entered this male chauvinistic society to establish myself as the female heir of my family, or my right to education despite being a woman. So for me, the Women's March is the culmination of my whole life struggle as a woman, fighting for my right to exist. And at the march, I just walk with my sisters to the future.
Because you can't wait for change. Because the more we wait, the more it stays the same. And I don't want to wait. I need for that mantle to be passed on at that opportunity, you know, and I need to be able to walk shoulder to shoulder with my sisters. If we never make a mistake, we never grow. But if we don't have people to support us and care about us as we move through our journey, then nothing's ever going to change. In order to carry forward our commitment and our mission to ensure that there's always space for the voices of the members of the North County community, we'd love to welcome you here today to our first ever annual North County San Diego Women's March virtual event. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Up next, we have a wonderful performance from Celeste.
County Women's March. My name is Celeste Barbier. Thank you so much for inviting me to perform again this year. I've been at every one of the North County Women's March rallies since the first year back in 2017. And I want to thank you so much for doing this for our community. And again, thank you for inviting me back this year. Some of the organizers asked if I would sing Rise Up by Andra Day. And I don't sing in Andra Day's key. She sings really high. So I got with my producers in 2020 and decided to record my own version of this song in my key. So I'm going to perform that for you guys today. If you want to check out my music and my albums, you can find them on Amazon. You can find them on iTunes. My first album was called Tidal Wave. The second album featuring this song is called Two Worlds. And please check out my albums. Go to CelesteBarbier.com to find out more about me. And again, thank you for being part of our virtual event this year. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay vigilant. You're broken down and tired, living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. Like the day, I'll rise up, unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in
silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to the feet and move mountains. We'll take it to its feet and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. We will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise, and we'll rise up, we'll rise unafraid, we'll rise up in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up high like the waves, we'll rise up, we'll rise unafraid, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. Peace and blessings, everyone.
The North County San Diego Women's March has a huge theme of asking, what is your ask? We ask all of our guest speakers, our artists, and our community members, how can we support you, your vision, and your commitments? Well, the North County San Diego Women's March also has an ask, and it's to end period poverty. Here's Sue Alderson, co-founder of the North County San Diego Women's March, to talk about the North County San Diego's ask and how we can help end period poverty.
Thank you so much, Venus, and I'm so excited about our virtual march. Today, when I was listening to Tazeen speak and I remembered our first march, it rained. And today it's raining again, and because of COVID and a whole new way of being, we've been able to bring our part of our dream to fruition by bringing a whole group of young people together to help us create this amazing, amazing virtual event. And thank you so much, Celeste. My heart is always full when I hear you sing. So every year we do an ask, it's a call to action. Our ask this year is we want to work on ending period poverty. Period poverty is not something that we often speak about. It's not something that we often pay attention to. We're always donating food to food banks or participating in diaper drives, but feminine hygiene products is often not in the forefront. Period poverty has been an issue in our community, particularly for our folks that are really struggling, or food insecure people, or homeless insecure people. Oftentimes women have to decide between themselves and their daughters, am I going to have to buy feminine hygiene products for myself or my children, or put gas in the car, are we going to eat? And as a result, oftentimes the lack of accessibility to feminine hygiene products creates a situation where women can't go to work, where they can't go to school, where they don't have the opportunity to contribute fully and participate in their communities. With COVID, things have gotten even worse. In the past, we would have schools and community centers that would provide feminine hygiene products, pads, tampons, whatever, and washing facilities for women and young women and whoever identifies as a woman that were in need. Now the schools are closed, the community centers are closed, everything is closed. And so it's incumbent on us in the community to ensure that along with food, housing, diapers, that we can make sure that our friends who identify as women, are women in need of feminine hygiene products can get them. So our call to action, our ask, is that we please donate to the North County San Diego Women's March. There's a link right there at the Venmo, and I think we have a Square, and we will buy the products because we want to be sure that our products go to where we want them to go. We're looking at interfaith community centers, the Women Resource Center, there's a food bank in Vista, and whatever organizations that we have been in contact with, and we will call and make sure that the products get there, along with anybody that's doing any kind of food. So if we have a group and there's a food bank that's happening, like Palomar College had one this morning until it rained, we will provide feminine hygiene products for that as well. When women cry because they were able to get what they needed for their menstrual needs, we know we're doing something important. Again, please donate, End Period Poverty. There's our Venmo at NCSDWN, and if you feel like using the Venmo, the Square, please go ahead and do it. And thank you so much, and thank you for participating.
Thank you so much, Sue. And our march has made a huge stride to make sure that this is an inclusive and safe space. With that came a name change. What is in the name X? Women with an X. That can represent and mean so much, but let us show you what is in the name X.
I think this may be the important message, is the fact that if a person says they're a woman or non-binary or a man, that's what they are. You don't need to understand it. Just respect them enough to use their name and pronouns, and we've already have a good start.
So, hello, I am Josie Caballero. I am a local San Diego progressive activist. I've been a candidate for Congress. I've been a candidate for City Council. I have been working in the progressive community as a business owner, and now I am fortunate to be the project manager for the U.S. Trans Survey for the National Center for Transgender Equality, which is an absolute wonderful opportunity. And I wanted to start off this conversation about the fact that we I'm also a proud trans woman, no surprise. I wanted to really make sure that what we do with the Women's March and when it comes to what is in the name with Women X is the idea that we're not going to say Women X, but we're going to say women. And women come in all shapes and sizes, all shapes and colors, and some of those women are also trans. The idea of the selfishness about what it is to be trans is, I like to give it with my own example. The reason I chose the name Josie is, other than the fact that I am Josie, obviously, is the fact that my dead name used to be Jose. And my name, Josie, is Josie. The reason I did that is because I wanted to add an I to my life. Because for the first time I did something for me and not for society. And it was very invigorating, and it became part of my own identity to be Josie. It is best to always refer to a trans person, past, present, and future, as the name that they choose and their preferred gender, the gender that they are. So I even refer to myself that way. I, Josie Caballero, ran for Congress, and I am a woman. I ran for Congress as a woman, even though those things aren't necessarily what actually happened in the past. If you cut that slice of history out, I prefer it. It's easier for everybody to understand, and it doesn't divorce me from the person that I used to be. The most simple baseline, understanding that almost everybody in this country and world needs to understand is, if someone says they are a woman or a man or non-binary, you accept it as so. Yeah. To represent that and understand those pronouns is very, very important. Second thing is to respect people's names. Just like we respect somebody who changed their name due to marriage or for whatever reason, We need to respect people's names and respect people's pronouns. I would rather someone ask my pronouns than to misgender me. Ask people's pronouns, and it's completely okay, and we prefer it. It's about you. This is about you. And it's okay to sit here and say, no, I'm going to transition because of me. And that's the only reason you should ever transition. It's because of you. Nothing else outside of that will make you transition, because you are the one that does it, and it's you that is empowered. And to be able to stand out and say, I'm proud to be this person, is one of the most empowering things that a person can do for themselves. So I want to say that everything that I'm saying is personal to my experience and the experience and understanding I know of my community that I am proud to be a part of.
Thank you so much, Josie, for your transparency and being a part of the North County San Diego Women's March. I'm here with Josie Caballeros, and she's going to talk about what the Women's March means to her and share some information. Josie? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for that information. A huge part of the North County San Diego Women's March is to educate, empower, and embrace. So thank you for educating us. Is there anything else you have to share with the Women's March today?
Well, yeah, I first, hello everyone. I'm Josie Caballero, she, her pronouns. I'm a veteran and the project manager for the National Center for Transgender Equality. I'm honored to be here to have the opportunity to speak with all of you today. Just to let everyone know, I am a trans woman, and what it means to, and what that means is that my gender doesn't match with the sex that I was assigned at birth. But before I get into my topic, I want to first say again that my trans experience is my own, because like all humans, we all have different stories that make us us. As more people are coming out as trans, more and more cis people, cis being someone who is assigned the sex of their birth and also match that gender, now it's just a descriptor, no slur there. Are in more and more trans people in their daily lives. We're your family, we're your friends, we're your coworkers, we're your professionals, and everyone in between. So let's get started. So according to the National Center for Transgender Equality, transgender is a broad term that is used to describe whose gender identity is different from the gender that they thought they were when they were assigned when they were born. Trans is often referred to as shorthand for transgender. Gender identity is your internal knowledge of your gender, i.e. woman, man, or another gender. Gender expression is how we present. So the clothes that we wear, the voice, the body, and things like that express who you are. As you can see, I'm wearing a dress. I'm very femme. I am a feminine woman. And I also want to discuss gender transition. Gender transition is a personal process that takes a multitude of valid ways. Anything from just changing your name, your pronouns, changing how you are, changing your clothes. And some of us undergo medical transition due to many reasons, such as gender dysphoria, which is a condition that makes us feel uncomfortable in our own bodies. Medical transition normally goes by hormone replacement therapy, or HRT for short, and some undergo medical transitions. It's never okay to ask a trans person if they're undergoing any of these medical transitions. It is something personal. Just like if you were to ask somebody about their personal story, about their surgeries, you wouldn't just ask, oh, how did these things go, unless you have a very deep personal relationship with someone that you, if they're cis, for example. Some people identify as neither a man or a woman, or a combination of man or male and female, and may use the term non-binary or genderqueer. So those people normally want to be referred to as they or them. Now, I know for some of you that's a lot of information and can be very scary because you don't want to offend us, and I completely understand. So I want to give you just a really quick permissions that you can ask trans people. Now, this is most likely, in my experience, won't offend anybody. Hi, what's your name? That's one of those questions that you can ask, and always respect people's names. Second is, what's your pronouns? Don't assume people's pronouns. Always ask. It's very, very good to normalize this process. And that's pretty much it. You don't have to understand everything about the transgender experience to be able to respect our pronouns and respect our names and the gender that we assume. So, with that, I want to say the most important thing to take away from all of this is that trans women are women, trans men are men, and non-binary people are valid. That is the most critical thing that we can all understand and know and acknowledge today to be the best trans ally that anybody can possibly be. And if you want to learn more, please go to transequality.org. That is the National Center for Transgender Equality's website. It gives you many updates on how to understand transgender issues, as well as the policies that we need for equality. As we know, with the new administration, we already have some new things down the line that are already exciting for all of us to understand. So with that, I just want to say thank you to the North County San Diego Women's March for having me today to be able to speak more candidly on my trans experience.
Thank you, Josie, and we honor you and we love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, it's important for us to disseminate a lot of this information in another language as well. So also, before we get to that, Josie, what is your ask?
So my ask is for everyone to actually go to transequality.org and sign up to the newsletter, because so many things happen all the time to make sure that helps us. So activism allows us to figure out and work together as a community. And the biggest ask, again, is to make sure that you respect that trans women are women, trans men are men, and non-binary people are valid.
Thank you, Josie. I have a motto, which is when you know more, you do more, and when you know better, you do better. So thank you for educating us on how to be better. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we have to disseminate some of this information in another language to make sure that we're as inclusive as we can be. We have another call-in guest, Carla, who is going to disseminate a lot of this prominent information in Spanish. Hi, Carla.
Hi, everyone. How are you all doing? Sorry, I'm trying to locate myself here. Hi.
You're doing great. Awesome. And can you please share with us what some of this information is in your native language?
Yes. So, hola a todas las personas que han decidido pues conectar hoy nuestra marcha virtual. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Mi nombre es Carla y mis pronombres son ella, ela en portugués, and she and her en inglés. Para nosotros es importante hablar un poco de qué significa la idea por detrás de Women, que está con X, ¿no? En el título de esta marcha, the North County San Diego Women's March. Esa marcha del Condado de North San Diego intenta ser más inclusiva posible en su lenguaje. Para eso, después de hablar con toda la organización y con la comunidad LGBT del Condado Norte de San Diego, hemos decidido que la mejor traducción para el nombre de la marcha sería llamarse Marcha de las Mujeres y Personas Femeninas de Género No Binario del Condado Norte de San Diego. ¿Y por qué personas femeninas de género no binario? Nosotras en esta marcha queremos asegurarnos de incluir a toda la diversidad de las mujeres de nuestra comunidad. Y para eso se incluye la comunidad transgénero, la comunidad de las personas del no binario, del género no binario, femenina del género no binario, y todas las mujeres diversas, incluidas las mujeres de color, racializadas en nuestra sociedad, las mujeres con discapacidades y todas las personas que sufren discriminación por su género y por la expresión de su género en nuestra comunidad. Nosotras con esta marcha promovemos la inclusión primero y la interdependencia para todas las mujeres, porque nosotras creemos que todas estamos conectadas unas con las otras. Nosotras buscamos romper con las normas lingüísticas patriarcales cuando decimos marcha de las mujeres y de las personas femeninas de género no binario. Porque nosotras creemos que las personas de género femenino no binario, como todas las mujeres, también sufren, son víctimas de discriminación y violencia por su género. También quisiera hablar con vosotras sobre la cuestión de los colores principales de esa marcha. El azul simboliza la sabiduría. la sabiduría de todas las personas de nuestra comunidad, de las personas mayores, de las personas jóvenes, de todo el mundo. El violeta se refiere a todas las personas afectadas por violencia de género en nuestra comunidad, por todas las mujeres que sufren violencia y por todas las personas que sufren violencia por su identidad de género, por su expresión de género en nuestra comunidad. Y el rojo por todas las mujeres indígenas desaparecidas en nuestra comunidad en Estados Unidos, pero también hacia el mundo afuera. Hoy yo desde Ocean Beach marcho para reconocer y celebrar todas las mujeres resilientes por todo el mundo afuera, que deciden organizarse, colaborar entre mujeres en sus comunidades para luchar por la justicia social y por mejorar este mundo, que este mundo sea un mundo mejor para todas las personas. So today I'm connecting from Ocean Beach and I'm marching because I'm celebrating and I'm recognizing all those resilient women who organize, who collaborate among themselves and with their communities to fight for a better world for all of us, for social justice for all of us. Venice, I'm back into you. Thank you so
One more
much.
question for you before you leave. What is your ask?
So today I'm asking we all think about all the women, the human rights defenders that are all around the world, getting organizing, fighting, and surviving every day. Please try to find information about them. Here in the United States, our indigenous women and Native American women, women of color, and outside too abroad. I'm originally from Brazil, and in Brazil and in South America, a lot of women are struggling, but they are also so resilient and fighting together. So please be aware of what is around us, here in the US, but also abroad.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you so much for all of that information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have a featured sponsor. And we again want to thank all of our sponsors for donating and contributing and making this march possible. Max DePosti, are you here? It looks like we have Max, or no, we have Martha. Hi, Martha, how are you?
Hello, good morning. I'm doing well. I'm so honored to be in the presence of so many wonderful people.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you. So Martha, why are you marching today? We have a huge theme here for our Women's March, and it's hashtag I March Because. So in the comments, everyone let us know. And Martha, you please let us know, why are you marching today?
I march for the unseen Latinas. I march for the Latinas that are unseen in North San Diego County. I march for the unseen Latinas in the state of California. And I march for the unseen Latinas in the United States. 2 years ago, I decided to run for school board in Vista. I was elected. I was the first Latina ever elected to the Vista School Board. Within that context, I've been able to meet and network with many women who are Latina, who are elected officials. And I was recently invited to a forum that focused on this. So in this forum for Unseen Latinas, I learned that Latinas make 42 cents to the dollar for every white man in California. That pay gap is the biggest in any other demographic in the nation. And what it does, it relegates us to a position or a place where we're stuck in poverty, especially in the context of the pandemic and COVID-19. More statistics, but it matters to set the context. 30% of Latinas lost their job last year because of this pandemic, and 40% of undocumented Latinas. So I don't know if people are really aware about the positions that it puts us in and our children and our families. So I march to put that in the spotlight.
Thank you so much, Martha. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And also, up next, we're going to have a quick social media check-in. So everyone in the comments below, and I'm watching, make sure you introduce yourself, tell us your name, and where you're checking in from. So if I want to check in, I'd say I'm Venus Johnson checking in from sunny Oceanside, California. So let us know in the comments where you're checking in from and let us know how the show is going. Hello there from sunny San Marcos. We have Escondido.
On this day,
We have Escondido. We have Liana Cortez from Rainy Vista, Oceanside, California, Escondido, Vista. There's so many individuals here in supporting. So we thank you all again. And thank you again to all of our sponsors. Up next, we will honor the missing, murdered, and Indigenous women.
On this day, we honor missing, murdered Indigenous women. For too long, our women have carried the burdens of humanity. We must unify our efforts, knowing that the atrocities against women have no boundaries. Therefore, we must rise together and raise awareness to move forward to protect all women. Now is the time to hold our leaders accountable for honoring those lost souls and hold the perpetrators accountable for their atrocities. We invite you to join us in solidarity and extend our hearts and our hands to the warriors that lead this effort. Sisters, you are not forgotten. Let the whispers of our lost sisters become the thunder in our hearts and be a beacon of light in the darkness. Together we rise. Together we rise. Komomi Kokari.
I march because this event is an opportunity to raise awareness for the missing and murdered Indigenous women in the U.S. and in the rest of the world. The steps I take are for them who can no longer do so.
So as a woman, as that female balance within each of us, we're here to bring out that nurturing side so that we care for not just the humans of this land, but also for the ones that have no voice. We speak for Mother Earth, we speak for the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged, and the creepy crawlies, because we all have a proper place. We all have a gift, the gift of life that was given to us so that we can improve things. There's many things that happen throughout our life, and it's the day we are born and the day we find our purpose. We invite people to unite as one so that we may all have a seat at the table.
Thank you so much for that amazing video put on by Valente and the students of Mecha. Up next, we have Keely Linton with an amazing video.
Hello, I am Keely Linton. I am a Mesa Grande Band tribal citizen. I am with Strong Hearted Native Women's Coalition. We work on domestic violence, sexual assaults, stalking, sex trafficking, and missing and murdered Indigenous women. Our tribal coalition supports all of the tribal victim service programs in our area. We work on technical support and training. We do some legal assistance. We partner with the California Indian Legal Services to provide services for victims. We also host a domestic violence and sexual assault shelter program. So we work throughout the Southern California region to support tribal victim service programs, provide shelter for service for their clients. We're also looking at expanding our shelter to several different locations throughout the Southern California area to assist our community. One of the other things that we work a lot on is missing and murdered Indigenous women's. One of the things to understand about murdered and missing Indigenous women, it is part of the spectrum of violence related to domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and sex trafficking. One of the goals that we hope to work in our community is really establishing an emergency response, a coordinated community response with law enforcement, tribal governments, and our victim service programs to support families and victims when someone goes missing and we are concerned about sex trafficking. So there's a lot of issues to consider when you work within our community because of the jurisdictional issues between the state, the federal government, and the tribal governments. It can be really complicated. It's a difficult subject area. If you do have someone that you believe is from tribal communities and needs support, the best thing to do is to reach out to the local tribes and the local tribal service programs in order to get assistance for them. We can be one of those liaisons for you. If you need help, you can reach out to Strong Hearted Native Women's Coalition, and we're willing to provide you some education, some information, and resources if needed. I hope I was able to answer all of your guys' questions. If you need more information, you can please reach out to us and we'll assist in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keely, for that wonderful information and the honor of the missing, murdered, and Indigenous women. Up next, we have Oceanside's very own Vanessa Graziano from the Oceanside Homeless Research Center, performing with Jason Poltonek, as we give a special thanks to our sponsors.
Oh God.
COVID-19, this had to be a virtual celebration of hope and optimism. Also, for that, we have to take a moment to honor our essential workers of this nation. Greetings, North County San Diego Women's March, and I'm here, Venus Johnson, at the Oceanside Muramid Arts and Cultural Center, where I get to have a one-on-one conversation with the artist behind the artwork, Dr. Joanne Tafilis, who will be making a mural, a beautiful mural to honor our essential workers. And I'm here at Muramid Arts and Cultural Center of Oceanside, California, to meet the artist behind the artwork, Dr. Joanne Tafilis. Please tell us more about this amazing mural that you have to honor the essential workers of our nation.
Well, first of all, I've been inspired by the Women's March every year. And for this year, because of this terrible COVID-19 pandemic, Venus and Kelly have inspired me to do a mural to thank the essential workers that come to the front, are on the front lines, trying to help with this terrible situation we have. I think it's really important to always say thank you. You know, even with the events of last week in Washington, we have to thank those that came and helped and stopped what was going to happen, I believe. But for the Muramid Arts and Cultural Center, I hope when the pandemic's over, people will come by and celebrate the different diverse cultures that we have here. We have 55 spoken languages in San Diego County, and we have so many countries that people come from. I'm so happy that we are a bastion of help to refugees and people from other countries, and we need to celebrate that. So this is the place that we're going to be gathering. You'll hear music, spoken word, do more arts. We've done over 5,000 murals, and we're going to keep going because it's something that brings people together. So we're always happy to have guests with new ideas and to share what we do with the world, which I've been doing for over 22 years.
Awesome, awesome. So for all of our North County guests, make sure you mask up and come on down to Muramid Arts and Cultural Center. Thank you so much, Dr. Joanne Tafilis. Have a nice day.
It's scary. Every day I have to find courage to wake up and be strong and know and just pray that I'm going to be protected. I feel like I am risking my life every time I walk in, because it could be that day where I can get infected and then bring it home to my family. And it's honestly made me think again, if this is what I want to do for, the rest of my life, this is not what nursing is supposed to be. We see a lot of tragedy, and it's not something that we can just put in our back pocket, when we're done with the day. These are things that we hold on to for the rest of our lives. And not everybody can do this type of job. A lot of us nurses, as you know, it's a calling for us. This is something that we're meant to do. And so we keep going in strength and hope. I feel that I have been pushed beyond my limits up into a point where I feel that it's not fair for the patients that we see to be suffering like this when all this stuff could have been prevented. It's been challenging personally for my family, for my relationships, because sometimes I can get very burnt out, and then I don't want to socialize. I just need my own time. And so I feel a little distant towards even people that are super close to me. I want to thank all the people that do know the severity of this virus. And I know it's not something that may hit home, may hit close to home. I've not had a family member or a friend die from this, but I want to encourage people to keep fighting, to keep doing what they can to keep this virus at bay. And it makes me really happy to see people wearing a mask and being safe. And I just hope that people don't let their guard down. Even with the vaccine, it's still dangerous to keep going out and not wearing a mask, and just to keep other people in mind. It's about protecting other people.
Up next, we have another video to honor our first responders and our essential workers. And supporting our essential workers and the first responders of this nation. Now we're going to do another social media check-in. So let us know where you're from, where you're checking in from. I see in the comments we have some checking in from Barcelona, from Spain, from Camp Pendleton, and a special shout out to all of our military veterans. We also honor and support you as well. So let us know, introduce yourself, and tell us where you're from, and let us know, what is your ask? How can we support your commitments, your vision, and your commitment to your cause? Let us know what is your ask and how we can support you. Up next, we have Pilar Thomas, an attorney who's going to share a little bit more about environmental justice and energy poverty. Pilar? We have some coming in from Brazil. We have some coming in from Alabama. Thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you to all of our audience. And thank you again to all of our sponsors. Awesome. We have Carlsbad. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in and watching. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and even on Twitter. Make sure you follow us. We also have a selfie challenge that we're doing. So take a selfie, take a video, and tag us, and let us know why you're marching today and what steps you're taking for your cause, your commitment, your visions to help elevate and support North County, San Diego. Up next, we'll have Dr. Boyd, who's going to talk about environmental justice and water rights and how we can help and support that cause. Dr. Tiffany Boyd, are you here?
Good afternoon. I am. Thank you for that introduction. What a great show. It's going really well. Thank you. Thank you, awesome women. First, I'd like to thank the organizers and producers of the Women's March, Kelly Davis, Tazeen Nizam, Venus Johnson, and Sue Alderson for inviting me to speak. I'm Dr. Tiffany Boyd Hodgson, and my pronouns are she and her. Today, I want to talk to you about water, but I also want to challenge you to think about water differently. I'm an elected member of the Vallecitos Water District. It's a local office where I make decisions and set the vision for water for about 100,000 people. And I choose to run for this office because I believe water is life. Second only to the air we breathe, it is the most precious resource we have. It nourishes our bodies. It's the basis for the cerebral spinal fluid that cradles our brains. It carries the blood cells and delivers oxygen to our organs. As amniotic fluid, it cushions life growing in our bellies. And it's the basis of the blood many of us as women, and some who identify as men, shed every month during our menstrual cycle. Water is in us, and we are women. As women and girls, we have traditionally been the caretakers and purveyors of water. We had traditionally brought it to our villages. We've used it to cook and bathe bodies, wash wounds, and in symbolic rituals. And I bear these traditions in mind as I serve in this capacity on the water board. In modern times in the US, many of us do not have to walk miles for daily water. In fact, we're fortunate that we turn on the taps and the water is drinkable for most of us. But it's not that way for everyone. It's estimated that 1 million Californians live in economically stressed pockets of the state without access to clean, reliable water. This impacts rural Californians, many of whom are our indigenous neighbors who rely on wells, and Californians in impoverished urban areas, and our unhoused neighbors as well. In 2012, California passed the Human Right to Water Law, which declared that every person has the right to safe, affordable, clean water as a matter of state policy. And in 2020, the Safe and Affordable Drinking Water Fund was established to fund drinking water solutions for disadvantaged and marginalized communities who lack access to clean, affordable drinking water. The pandemic has stretched many families very thin. A report came out this week that Californians owe $1 billion, that's billion with a B, in water payments. 1 in 12, in fact, owe $500 or more in water debt. People who owe are disproportionately communities of color. While the state of California has prohibited water shutoffs during the emergency, there will be a backlog of debt that families will face once this immediate emergency is over. And there will need to be widespread protections and relief for families. So how can you help? And here is where I make my ask, since we're all making an ask today. It's a simple, yet it's a big one. Are you ready? I would like to amplify the words of Kelsey T. Leonard, a member of the Shinnecock Indian Nation and water scholar at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. She challenges us to reestablish our connection with water by thinking about water as a person, as alive, as us. She asks us to think about water as how we would think about our grandmother or our children that we want to love and protect and care for. So how do we do that? We ask ourselves every day, what have we done for water? It can be small and habitual, like teaching our children to turn off the water when they brush their teeth, or it can be large and encompassing, like a beach cleanup, or even running for office to serve on your local water board. This is how you can help. This is my ask. Think differently about water, and that will lead you to opportunities to protect our water.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Boyd, and all of that wonderful information on energy and environmental justice and water. Up next, we have Pilar Thomas, an attorney who's here to speak about energy poverty and how we can help and get involved. Thank you, Dr. Boyd. Pilar? Hi, how are you?
Hi, good morning, or good afternoon, I guess.
Good
where
afternoon.
I am.
Good afternoon, and could you please just educate us on environmental justice and especially energy poverty, what it is, what that means, and how we can get involved?
And to the participants in this virtual march, and my name is Pilar Thomas. I'm a member of the Pascua Yaqui tribe. I'm actually based in Tucson, Arizona, which I'm working from home as usual in this pandemic, unfortunately, but necessary. And I'm an attorney, and I practice in the area of Indian energy. I work with tribes. I work with other folks who are doing business with tribes, and my focus is on clean energy. So I try very hard to make sure I understand what's happening in the Southwest around the energy economy and how tribes and vulnerable communities, and especially rural communities, but vulnerable instances, tribal communities, and some of the energy issues facing. We've seen in this pandemic that the nexus between water and energy and the energy equity between vulnerable communities and other communities of color, that the huge inequities that we have built into our systems have really just got to the forefront in this time of COVID. And whether it's folks who are out of work and having to have rent issues, have utility pay issues, we see how some of these inequities really to the forefront. Energy equity is an important issue for me because it represents not just vulnerable and energy, but clean energy, access to reliable energy. And I know in Southern California, much of the state is experiencing just those issues because of, for example, wildfire risk from climate change and the power shutdowns that occur, utilities like San Diego. And so California is really starting to experience this issue of access to reliable. Lots of vulnerable communities experience that on a regular basis. And so energy equity is important. Helps to ensure that people have safe and reliable access to power, that they have access to affordable power. There's some recent statistics and analysis that shows that lower income households spend a disproportionate amount of revenue or their income on energy costs. And in some cases, and California is kind of already, in some cases, 40 to 50% of their is spent on energy costs. So energy equity is a kind of a term that we use to try and understand what can we do to reduce that burden for, again, low-income or vulnerable communities, to provide access to cleaner power. The other aspect of energy, environmental justice aspect, is the over-reliance in some states, and California has divested itself of coal power, for example, but the use of fossil fuels for energy and the public health issues associated with the over-reliance on fossil fuels for our energy needs. And too many vulnerable communities sit in the shadow of massive fossil fuel plants, whether they're oil and gas refineries or whether they are coal power plants. And so what can be done to help those communities avoid or mitigate the public health issues? And of course, the number one thing to be done is to shut those types of facilities down and convert our power, especially our power systems, from fossil fuel to clean energy such as wind or solar, which despite the rain, there's still a lot more sun in Southern California than there is rain. So my ask today is, what can communities do, and what can other organizations do to really help focus on the vulnerable communities, on communities of color, on households that are maybe led by single women of color who have a high burden as well? And what can we do to give them access to cleaner power, to help advantage of the rooftop solar revolution that's occurring in Southern California, which is reducing people's costs for power? And what can we do to help more jobs, and especially clean energy jobs?
For all of that information, thank you. Now we have Lasan Basquiat of Hair Hub Carlsbad.
I don't know if there are there questions or anything I could answer.
She's marching. Lasan? Hi, Lasan.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? You're such an empowering woman, such a trailblazing woman in your community. I know you were up for a NABO award. Could you tell us why you're marching today?
Thank you so much, Venus, and you're doing a fantastic job. So I own Hera Hub Carlsbad, and Hera Hub Carlsbad is a female-focused co-working space and business accelerator. It's also an inclusive environment, and so what we do there is help women primarily women who have an interest in building and scaling their business to have community. We have workshops and programs that are focused on supporting women, female entrepreneurs, and also giving them community and just that lending hand that you need when you're stepping into such a bold endeavor as building your own business. I also am the founder of a company called Shaping Freedom, and it's a personal growth company. And what I focus on there is on building the relationship that you have with yourself, because it is the longest standing relationship that you will ever have. I march and I do the work that I do because I think that because I believe that there is nothing more important than family legacy. There's nothing more important than doing the work to clean up what's happening within yourself so that you can show up more powerfully and more in your authentic self in all the different endeavors that you choose to participate in. And we as women, we're also the heart of our communities, we're the heart in our families, and we provide that heartbeat to the things that are going on around us, even the endeavors of our children and other people that are close to us, friends, family, other halves. And so I march because there is nothing more important than the heart of a woman, and there is nothing more powerful than doing the work to make sure that you stand up powerfully and authentically in this lifetime, and that you actually give yourself the permission and the gift of living your dreams and living them boldly and courageously. So that's why I march, Venus.
Thank you so much, Lisanne. Thank you for all you do for Hera Hub Carlsbad and for North County as a whole. Thank you. And if you haven't already, make sure you're checking in. Make sure you join our selfie challenge and tag us. Let us know why you're marching. Hashtag I march because. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I see we have some from Idaho. We have some from Alabama, from Carlsbad, North County, and beyond. Thank you all so much for joining our march. Up next, we have Liz Perez, the founder of GC Green Incorporated. Liz is here to tell us about environmental justice and how we can educate and do better and know more about energy. Liz? Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz. Hi, can you hear me?
I'm great. I hope you're doing well. Please tell us more about environmental justice as a whole and what else you have to share about energy, your business, and why you're marching today.
Yes, so thank you so much for this opportunity to be here with these amazing group of women and for such an important cause and our message, right? That's really what this is about, is, you know, delivering that message. And before I begin, I just want to recognize the land I'm on. I'm here in Vista, and its original ancestral land is Laseño and Kumeyaay ancestral land. So that's really important that I should mention that. And also, I'm from Norfolk Rancheria. I'm a New Indian. I'm from the Eagle Clan, and also I'm first generation Mexican American as well. And to begin to talk about more about what environmental justice is, I'm going to do what natives tend to do best, is tell a story. So I'll tell you a little bit about my background and how it relates to what I do today. You know, so I always knew being Native and our true history, not the stuff that they taught you, well, taught me, I'm sure most of America and what's in the textbooks, is that American story. But my grandmother told me the true Native story. And my aunties and my uncles from Norfolk Rancheria, they told the true story because they were affected by it. And I'm not that far removed from it, actually. So my grandmother, when she was younger, she actually lived in an army tent. Why? because my tribe, we're a landless tribe. And I would say a good percentage, about maybe 90% of California Native Americans were wiped out, and many of those that did remain were displaced and are still fighting for their land today. So she remembers that smell of the scent or smell actually of the army tent to this day. My grandfather was taken away from his home and was taken to a Catholic school to learn how to be non-Indian. So again, I'm not that far removed. Fast forward to now, and actually, I would say present day, and our tribe finally was able to win their rights to have land. But even then, they were still fighting for more of their land. And then on top of that, they were made to be, they were forced to pay for that land. And a part of that too is the land that was given was the land that we were given, and many of us here in California, the native land that we were given has or had some of the, or currently has some of the most harshest environmental conditions, whether in rural California, where there isn't running water, electricity, high winds, all of the things that you can think of are probably not that great to even build on it, actually. And even that's very true for my tribe as well, Norfolk Rancheria. We're in Central Valley, close to Yosemite. So, you know, it's interesting, you know, how you fast forward even today and taking a look at what I do and why environmental justice is important to me is because as Natives, we believe everything's connected. One action is actually connected to another action. So environmental justice is connected to also affordable housing, quality schools, healthcare, quality jobs. And then, of course, the economics of it. If we're far away from where things are happening, where jobs exist, and we don't have the transportation to get there, well, not only are we environmentally impacted, we're also economically impacted. Hence, some of the struggles, why you see some of the struggles within Indian country. And this is why I've always been so passionate about that, is knowing that truth and wanting to do something, because, you know, that's just something that was part of my DNA growing up. And that's why I started my company, GC Green, GCG, 11 years ago. And what I am is a general contractor, a licensed B general contractor here in the state of California. And we also provide consulting, but most importantly, we focus on empowering Native American, Black and Brown communities by giving them the power to take it back, own it, and get that power to bridge that gap to jobs in the clean energy industry, to go out there and build for their communities and provide these things such as infrastructure for running water, clean energy opportunities, backup battery storage, solar, and we also are providing on-the-job training as well. So we're a small company, but we're definitely growing, and we have a lot of different opportunities that are coming up, and we're building actually here in Santa Isabel, solar carport, and also taking a look at what we can do to explore more grants, not just within Santa Isabel, but throughout California. So we've done work up and down the state. And what I would say, my ask would be, and I'm also, my ask would be get involved. And I think I heard someone say earlier, serve. Well, yes, serve, whether that's serving military. I am also a former Navy veteran, and taking a look at what you can do in your community. So I served also as deputy secretary in the state of California at Calvet. And outside of that, I was a candidate here locally in Vista. I ran for city council, and I'm currently a candidate for 8M76 slate. And I do want to take a look at what we can do here within North County to honor our original keepers of this land through food, culture, and art. And what I would say, serve in your community, to tell your stories, to make that change, run for local office. And some of the jobs that you can get involved in, that's not necessarily a general contractor, but even like Pilar Thomas. And Pilar Thomas, she served, and she's very humble. She served under President Obama's administration as former director of Indian Energy. She's an amazing woman. She's my mentor, and we need women supporting women, of all generations. And so it's so important that we continue to pass that torch and keep marching forward. And we march forward by taking action, and that's to serve.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And thank you for all of that wonderful information about environmental justice, how we can get involved, and how we can educate and empower one another when it comes to this huge crisis from climate and environmental justice as a whole. And so again, can we just reiterate one more time for everyone, what is your ask?
Yes. So my ask is to get involved and take a look at whether it's volunteer in your community, whether that's the trash cleanup. Environmental justice is connected to so many things, and that's climate change. That's the nexus, right? And so you can start there outward, whether that's serving on a board to address these issues, a career in legislation, and writing policy to make that change for our future generations. So my ask is to serve.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth Perez. Thank you. Up next, if you are in Oceanside or in North County at all, you definitely know our next guest, Rob Howard, one of my favorites. He's also running for ADEM 76. Rob Howard, can you check in with us and let us know why you're marching as one of our featured sponsors?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to share. Yes, I'm running as an assembly for AD 76, but what I want to really today is our company is Brevigen Energy, and we are really focused on working to help the climate one project at a time. And my ask is that people, as you heard other people say it, is to get involved. And for those who have power, to allow space. And for those of you who are interested in helping to make things better, then make sure you are supportive of things like ours, not just in January, but year round. So in other words, allow them the space to be their best, because we should not be the handicap. We empower people for growth. And so that's my ask, is that people get engaged, get involved, and if you have power, share, and get out of the way and let those who are fully capable of doing it to get it done.
Thank you so much, Rob. We appreciate you. And next, we have a social media check-in, and I also want to give a special shout out to Austin for taking a selfie and competing in our, well, not competing, but participating in our selfie challenge. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you take a selfie, take a screenshot on whatever device you're using to stream our Women's March, and tag us, let us know, use our hashtags, I March Because, March On, and tag us, let us know so we can repost and share all of your selfies. So we'll do another selfie check-in, another social media check-in. We have Elizabeth Perez, who's also running from ADEM 76. And also a quick disclaimer for those of you just joining, make sure that you're very respectful in our comment sections. Be respectful to all of our guests, all of our participants today, and make sure that our comments are clean and our participation is fair and respectable to everyone who's viewing. So we have everyone tuning in. I see hashtag community. I see Vanessa Forsty. She says, my ask is to demand accountability. Thank you so much for sharing your ask. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you share your ask. Let us know how the Women's March can get involved with your commitments, your vision. There's so many organizers in our community. There's so many people who are galvanizing and empowering our youth and our community as a whole. So tag us on social media. Let us know what your ask is. Let us know how we can help support you. And again, if you haven't already, try to donate to us to help our ask, which is to end period poverty. We also have an amazing playlist that has been donated to us from the Sultry Sisters. The playlist, which is so empowering, you can march to it. When you take your selfie, listen to our playlist and march on and let us know why you're marching. Again, check in with us and let us know. Also, we have here to remember sisterhood from Lasan Basquiat. To remember sisterhood and of the power we hold to cultivate incredible transformation in our families. So thank you, Lasan, for sharing your ask, and thank you for all of your information on how we can get involved in our communities. Up next, we have a sponsorship role, and we're going to thank all of our sponsors again for all of your contributions and making this live and virtual event happen. Thank you to our sponsors.
Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I am an empowerment coach and speaker. My background is very varied. It stems from being one of the first African-American leaders in a Fortune 500 company to being a business owner. I own a coaching and wellness business along with my husband. And we truly want to help people to take responsibility and to be in control of their own lives. And today I'm using this platform with the North County San Diego Women's March because I truly believe that what we do matters. It is a reflection of the quote that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said. He said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." So what we do truly matters. So I want you to reflect on a person that made a difference in your life. That was that defining moment. And I want you to take that feeling, emotionalize it, and I empower you to go out and do the same in someone else's life. I want you, as that other famous quote that I like, that's by an unknown author that says, "Don't expect others to listen to your advice and ignore your example. Be the example. Make a difference." I empower you to do so today. Let's march for whatever cause is in here to help you to understand that you are worthy and what you do matters.
But thank you to all of our sponsors. Alan, how are you?
Well,
I thought we were going to have a thank you to our sponsors, but we have my favorite friend, Alan Geraci from the Toastmasters of San Marcos. Alan, you are a trailblazer in San Marcos. You ran for office. You're an attorney. Let us know why you're marching today.
Well, hi, Venus. I'm so glad to see you. Well, and I want to thank all of the organizers for this event. It's been a magnificent program. Thank you, Venus and Kelly and Sue and Tiffany and Laura and all of you who organized this event in light of a pandemic and making this happen. So why am I here? Well, I want to shed some light on how I got involved in women's issues, which was the Equal Rights Amendment. Some of you realize that after suffrage in the 20s, the first Equal Rights Amendment was introduced. And then, of course, under Hoover and Coolidge, it just died on the vine. And then we had a depression and a world war and a Korean war and a Vietnam War. And not much happened until the 70s. In the mid-70s, the Equal Rights Amendment came back to life and was reintroduced and passed the House and the Senate and was sent to the state legislatures for ratification. Well, since then, it's been a one state at a time trying to get to that 38th state. Most of you now realize that we reached that 38th state just last year when Virginia ratified the Equal Rights Amendment. And for its simplicity's sake, What is the Equal Rights Amendment? It's really, really rather simple. Equality of rights under the law shall not be abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. I just love that simplicity. And I love the fact that we now have 38 states who have ratified, which is the 3/4 required in the Constitution. So why has this not become part of the Constitution? Well, of course, there were deadlines set early in the 70s. Those deadlines weren't met. Extensions were granted during the Carter administration and later even through into the Clinton administration. And all of the deadlines have expired. So what it will take to get the Equal Rights Amendment finally ratified and made part of our Constitution is for the current Congress to revisit this issue of extension, grant the extension in both the House and the Senate, and lo and behold, we will have an Equal Rights Amendment. We can do that, folks. I know we've got a lot of issues on our plate in the next couple of years, but we must take advantage of a Democratic majority in both the House and the Senate and shed that light back on the Equal Rights Amendment and make it the law of the land. We all know that women's rights are not only gender reproductive rights, but they are social justice rights, racial justice, as we've heard, rights, environmental justice rights, economic justice, healthcare justice. All of these justice issues are part of the Equal Rights Amendment movement. So my call to action, Venus, I'm glad you asked, is, of course, let's call our representatives, call Congressman Peters, Congresswoman Jacobs, Congressman Levin, Congressman Vargas, and Senators Feinstein and Padilla. The phone number is 202-224-3121, and that switchboard will send you right to your representative, and let them know that even though we've got a full plate, we would like to see this agendized and become part of the law of the land. Thank you, Venus.
Thank you so much, Alan. And thank you for that information and letting us know how we can get involved. Thank you for the phone numbers also. And you heard it from him. Get involved where you can. Make sure that you're tuning into your community and figuring out how you can be a voice and help, and make sure that your community is being ran by the leaders that you voted into office. It's all about education, knowing who we elect into our offices and doing the work where you can. If you want to get involved on a campaign, do it. If you want to be a campaign manager, do it. Or if you just want to sit on the sidelines and help run a campaign social media account, do that. And as I speak of social media, again, I'm so thankful for everyone who's tuning in from all over. The perks of a virtual march is that we can reach the masses and we can tune in from all over. So again, if you haven't already, make sure you let us know where you're tuning in from. Put it in the comment section. And also, this has been such an informative march. Let us know what you've learned today. Give us a takeaway on what you've learned. I know for me, some in the comments, it says accountability is a right. That's a takeaway. Accountability should be demanded. That's a takeaway. Let us know what your ask is. Let us know in the comment section what you've learned today and how you plan to make a difference in your community, if it's here in North County, San Diego, or even if it's not in North County, San Diego. Let us know your commitment to make a difference and make a change. I see another takeaway is they represent us. We have to realize that this community is our community, and the way we can help is by showing up for us. So we also have someone checking in from Encinitas, Alariza, checking in from Encinitas. All of North County is involved, so we thank you again for all of our sponsors and for all of. So again, another quick thank you to all of our sponsors. give my Thank you to all of our sponsors. Again, I just want to make sure that we're all checking in from all over in the comment section. And here we're going to talk about why I choose to march. And if you know anything about me, about Venus Johnson, you know I'm always trying to galvanize and empower our youth to get involved, especially in local policy and local politics. But it's more about policy as a whole. I march because I want young girls and boys, young people who look just like me and far beyond, to know that they have a seat at the table, that they can get involved and they can let their voices be heard. To galvanize our youth to take office, to be on the forefront and allow our issues and our voices to be heard, to get involved in their local politics, to get involved in the city council level, to get involved at the state level, and even the national level. We can all get involved where we choose and where we fit in. So make sure that you're empowering our youth to do the same. And thank you again to all of our sponsors who are a part of this march. I see Ashley Bell checking in, and she says she marches virtually for the younger girls and boys who need to witness us come together and support each other in every aspect possible. This is what it's about, being the change you want to see. So I want to just encourage youth empowerment, and that's my ask. That's why I march. Up next, we have an amazing video from Iyane. Thank you.
My eyes ache from the long sleep I've been in, but you know well enough that it's because I'm awakening. I lovingly wipe away the remnants of the illusory world from the corners of my eyes. Stretch my limbs slowly to awaken my senses and remember that my body is space and my heart is time. I take care to baptize my nakedness in sacred oils and salves. I gaze into my reflection, the only truth I know that evolves. I observe how I've taken form, how it's evolved, softened. And I admire that I am here, standing, not as a perfect depiction of the roles I've been given, but poised in a masterful composition of light and frequency. I am beloved remembrance. And unto this memory, I make this offering. On this day, I choose fullness over density. Devoted to discernment, I choose curiosity and unrestrained exploration as a path of clarity. I choose to give all of my self-affection from the spaces furthest from my heart to those basking in its warmth. I will amplify the feeling that I am lovable and that as I am, above all else, I am love. No longer in a silhouette of happiness, I choose to be the luminous incarnation of my soul's ecstasy. On this day, I choose to trip the light fantastic. I choose to dance, play, rejoice, because I am here now. I am yours, beloved universe, and we are one. In bountiful gratitude, Iyane.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. And I'm Tony. And we are the Sultry Sisters. We're a community-based organization that empowers women to live healthy and creative lives in North County, San Diego, and recently DC.
We curate events, workshops, mixers, and meetups centered around women's arts, wellness, and sisterhood.
Our mission is to empower women to live vibrant and shine bright through creative expression and conscious holistic living.
Our vision is to create a safe space that provides women the arts and wellness resources that are affordable and accessible.
So far, we've partnered with Dancing So Boutique, Village Rock Shop, Carlsbad Village Yoga Co-op, and nonprofit organization Leap to Success. To find out more information about us and to sign up for our future events, visit sultrysisters.com.
You can also find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Sultry Sisters.
We hope to see you soon.
Thank you to all of our members and especially the Sultry Sisters. And thank you to all of our artists who put in submissions. We thank you and we honor you, and our team worked so hard to make sure that everyone was included, and we're so sorry for the ones that were not able to be featured today. However, it's okay because this march will live on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and our Twitter. So for all of our submissions, all of our artists that want to be a part of our march, just submit to us and we can definitely repost you and retweet you and share you all over our platform. We want to elevate all of the voices of North County, and we're so thankful for all of you. And again, here's a reminder that we also have an amazing playlist from the Sultry Sisters to help encourage us and empower us as we march on. So if you haven't already, check out our social media pages and get the link to those platforms and to the playlist and march on. And now I have a special text from my family that I'll read, and they're watching from all over. My family is in Arizona for a basketball tournament, so they couldn't be here today, but they're tuning in from Arizona. I have family in Alabama, and they're supporting. They're so supportive. They say, Venus, you make us so proud. Thank you so much for being the incredible daughter that you are. Dream Team, we love you. Thank you so much. A motto my family and I have is, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. I've lived by that motto my entire life, and I've been preparing for moments like these since I can remember. So I ask you to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready in your community. Stay active in your community, and make sure that you're getting involved, that you're uplifting your community, you're embracing, you're educating, and you're empowering one another. North County and beyond, we're so thankful to all of you. We're so thankful for this march and the virtual celebration. And also a huge thank you to our volunteers. Some of our videos that we were shooting, the volunteers that just held the camera, the volunteers that contribute to our social media accounts, the volunteers that made edits and suggestions and just helped us all over. Olivia Love Worthy, thank you so much for all of your contributions. Valente Martinez, thank you so much. There's so many amazing, incredible members who have been a part of this team to make this North County San Diego Women's March go off as a hit. Thank you, Miss Steph. Thank you, Palomar College and the MECHA students. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Nizani Ellenwood as a closing, and a thank you again to everyone who's tuning in. Be sure to tag us in all of your posts and let us know how you enjoyed our march.
Taxhala, Inawanik was Najona Ellenwood, in West Nimipu Ka Apache. Good afternoon. My name is Najona Ellenwood. I am Nez Perce and Apache, and I'm very happy to be here for this year's virtual Women's March. I'm going to present to you some songs. This first song I'm going to be singing is called the Women's Warrior Song. I learned this song when I was in Canada and during the Idle No More movement. It was a song that we often led out the rallies and marches, all the women singing together. So this is a very strong, powerful song. It's often sung also in connection to missing murdered Indigenous women, MMIW, if you've ever seen that, to bring awareness to MMIW. I'm actually wearing a red dress in honor of our missing and murdered Indigenous women and people, to bring awareness to that situation that is happening, that has been happening for a very long time, and continues to happen to this day. So prayers for all of our sisters and grandmothers, aunties, mothers, sisters, cousins, nieces, and all of our family that are missing. This is the Women's Warrior Song. Hey, 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 ya, e-oh, ya, e-oh, hey, hey, ya, e-oh, ya, e-oh, hey, hey, ya, e-oh, hey, 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 ya, e-oh, ya, e-oh, hey, hey, ya, e-oh, ya, e-oh, hey, hey. ya he yo ho hey hey ya he yo hey hey ya he yo ya he yo hey hey ya he yo ya he yo hey hey ya he yo. Katsiayo.
Thank you so much, Nizani Ellenwood. And again, as we bring this wonderful march to a close, I want to make sure that you honor the North County San Diego Women's March's ask, which is to help end period poverty. If you can, donate to us. We have a Venmo account, we have a Square link. You can find it on our social media pages, and you can also find it here. And let us know how you can donate and to help end period poverty. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, all of our volunteers, and let us know, how are you going to take action? This is your call to action. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. Now, let's go make a difference.